agree, but you respect the opinion. Yeah. Where do we go next with this matter, Mr. Weeks? How should we as a public look at this? How should we respond to it? What do you think?
Well, the matter is going to court this morning, according to you, Bing. I don't know if this matter, Mr. King has a good, based on what you said on this station, I think, or another station.
Say that again. He what? He what? He has a good
Based
base?
on something he may have said on this station
Okay,
another station.
okay, all right,
something
okay.
he said publicly, that
Okay.
he has a good law firm that usually represents him. Based on the comments he made, it may seem as though he's part of the law firm. I heard him say that they normally send case notes to him and stuff like that. So I expect him to get very good representation in court today.
Why did you find it necessary to mention that point?
How is that important?
Sorry?
How is that important?
Why did you find it necessary to mention that point?
I'm making the point that he will get, I have no doubt that he will get.
So why didn't you just say that and just say, well, you know, he seemed to be part of the law firm.
And that he gets notes.
Yes, cases.
But he said that here, Bing. I am making the point that the firm will represent him well.
Mr. Weeks, someone on the WhatsApp machine is saying, Bing, Mr. Weeks is being a hypocrite. He knows fully well that due process was not followed in this matter. He knows why he is bobbing and weaving. Why do you continue? No, okay. Well,
no, don't read that.
Yeah, I'm not going to read that. But respond to that.
There's no attempt to silence me, Bing.
That's not somebody trying to silence you.
Somebody's giving an opinion, Mr. Weeks. If
Read,
anybody wants to silence you, they'll pick you up.
Read the comment.
They'll pick you up
the comment.
and charge you. The rest of the message is not important, Mr. Weeks. Respond to what I've said so far.
To silence me is to have you removed me from the station.
And I told you, no one can make me make that decision. So why are you saying that? I decided I'm not going to. I decided I'm not going to. I'm not going to read the rest of the message. Why focus on that?
The point I am making, Bing, in response that you asked earlier, is that persons are always trying to silence others when they don't like their views. That is happening. That happens. I am supporting a point that you made earlier. You don't realize that?
Mr. Weeks, someone is asking if you're familiar with a situation where allegedly the commissioner slapped an inmate. Have you ever heard of that allegation?
I've heard. And somebody who was arrested, I've heard that accusation before.
Okay, because they're asking if he was arrested or if a due process was followed in that scenario.
If who was arrested?
If the commissioner was arrested or if there was an investigation or anything.
Well, there was no investigation, Daniel, as far as we know, because there's nobody in this country that investigates the police. The police are responsible for investigating. I'm of the view that we should have independent investigators in St. Vincent.
But yet in this case,
and matters like that would have been investigated.
I'm sorry, can we just go back to the point that you said about the police investigating police? What was that point you made?
I said I have repeatedly called for private investigators. So in a situation like the one that you are describing, those independent investigators would have investigated the matter, and based on the evidence, the matters could have been prosecuted.
That's not the statement you made, but okay.
Sorry?
That's not the statement I was asking you to repeat, but it's okay.
Which one?
Let's move on.
Mr. Weeks, finally, before we go, I just want to I want to comment on something, okay?
Yes.
For the past week, into some of last week, since I've been on, you've made, or you suggested, or you made comments to the fact that I can take you off whenever you want and whenever I want and anybody. And I don't get why you keep doing that. I don't know why you keep bringing that up. Is it that you want me to take you off so that you could go and say, you see? I told you already, this is not, why do you keep, we can disagree as we normally do and still be as we are going. So I don't know why you keep bringing that up.
Bing, you misinterpreted what I said, and I corrected you, and you hold on to your view. What can I do? You and I are speaking, and I said, Bing, you can't throw me off. Meaning that you can't get me to stray from my point.
Okay, and what this morning was what?
This morning, you asked me about silencing people. I said, yes, even me, they're trying to silence. You started reading a message that was sent to you. I got the opinion that the person has said, and you can correct me, I may be wrong, but I get the impression the person was saying, why you continue to have me on the station? I've heard persons come in here on your station and indicate that they are more deserving of a slot than I am. So I am not free to comment on those persons' comments. Right? I can't comment on those comments.
Can we please get the camera on this guy over here? Please, can we get the camera on him, Morales? I need to, because I need people to see the behavior.
Thank you, my friend, man.
We missed it.
Thank you, Mr. Weeks. Can't wait to speak to you again tomorrow morning, okay?
Yes,
I love you, Mr. Weeks. I love you, Mr. Weeks.
Have a good day, Mr.
Right?
Weeks.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you. Catch you tomorrow morning. It's just gone past 8 o'clock.
Throwback Thursday. On point, dropping shade and setting the trends.
You drinking the haterade.
It's the Shade Room with Jill, and DJ Shade. DJ on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Here we go! Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom. Galaxy by far. And DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069. Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom. Galaxy by far. And DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good?
Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. Follow these simple steps. Remove all jewelry before washing hands. Wet hands using running water. Place liquid soap in hand. Circulate using rotational movements, interlace fingers, and repeat switching hands. Wash back of fingers, rotating them in the palms. Wash fingertips, rotating them in palms. Wash thumbs using rotational movements. Thoroughly wash hands down to the wrists. Rinse hands. Dry with clean tissue. Turn off tap using tissue. Use tissue to open door and discard in bin. A simple act can make a huge difference. Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. This is a message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and the Environment.
Man want food, hustling, one day me say me must get. Yes, just free, so wave your hand there.
Throwback Thursday.
No condemn, he could have the gal for us. Real up, gal, no bad problem. Yes, just free, so wave your hand there. Then I show me no condemn, he could have the gal for us. Real up, gal, no bad problem. In a me mouth, me never born as no rich man son in a no rich man house. Enough time, my father come in from work and never dime. Enough time, me see me poor mother cry and no food can buy. Selassie, I love we. Selassie, I love we. And if you bring me the food, the testify. So put my case up front, Mr. Clark and court. Cause the things on no matter got you with me. She are the real child support. The judge said, tell me if your mother a number one. Yes, your honor. Will you ever do your mama wrong? No, your honor. The judge said, oh, you plead for love your mama first degree. Me say guilty, guilty. Your honor, please guilty, guilty, guilty. Call up the case fi mention, then fling me back in a detention. Fi love my mother, me guilty. Me a beg you give me 10 life sentence. Don't even need no lawyer. Mama don't wanna kill fi offer. Come remember when me was a juvenile. 6 I wish she one look after. If you love your mother like me, up in a deep beside me. If you love your mother like me, love mine. That mean you're me charge you. If you love your mother like me, she carry me for 9 months, she never charge me. If you love your mother like me, love mine.
One day to hear the lost ones. Just
Turn it up.
Throwback Thursday, exclusively on Boom.
You know, a point will jump out to me where Mr. Weeks make a statement when he say that when they investigate and they charge the person will have to suspend until the case he figured out. So that is why they set up to do Kenson.
Good morning, guys. I have some serious questions concerning the way the alleged investigations into the Kenson King matter took place. Now, based on the information from Eyewitness News, the investigation, the criminal investigation, the police investigation was prompted by a letter from a concerned relative of the prisoner who happens to be a lawyer. And I'm wondering why that lawyer chose to bypass the Department of Corrections and go straight to the police, because this is an on-the-job matter, and I'm pretty sure some supervisor or the other would have been aware of this incident. I'm not too sure if it had already gone up all the way to the superintendent of prisons. So that's one of the fundamental questions that I have. Why did this lawyer choose to bypass the Department of Corrections, who is the employer of Mr. King, and go directly to the police? And also, why did the Department of Corrections not take their own action before this went to the police? I'm not too sure what the time frame is, but I think these questions deserve to be ventilated in public. Another question that I have is whether or not prison officers are allowed to defend themselves physically from an assault by a prisoner, because if not, I can't see why prison authorities arm prison officers with swagger sticks or batons or whatever. That is a question that I have, because it would not make any sense for you to equip prison officers to defend themselves, and in the event of an assault, they are not allowed to defend themselves, and they are charged with a criminal offense if they choose to do so.
My head is hurting me.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I hit my head against the.
So you banged your head on the door. Let's go through this. Let's do the due process. Okay. You were frustrated with Mr. Weeks and took it upon yourself to bang your head on the door, and now you have a headache. Okay. So I'm gonna read some WhatsApp messages here.
Remember, you can send us your messages at 455-1069.
Yes.
That's voice notes or your chat, your text messages, or you can call us online at 451-1069.
Okay, so somebody is saying back in the day, Mr. Weeks would have been all over this case. Sadly, he chooses to find all sorts of excuses not to educate us about the process that should be followed in matters like these. He has failed his former comrades.
I think he educated. I think he gave us what, in his opinion, what the due process should be. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Morning, Ben.
Morning.
Hey, I'm calling about the Kensington matter. This is Mr. Boucher, right?
Hey, Boucher, good morning. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. Trade union member. Public Service Union, you're the president?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Because when I learned about the matter yesterday, the first thing that we had to find out was where was that he was on his.
But Boucher, you're breaking up, eh?
Okay, well.
Okay, you're coming in good now. Okay.
So we learned it was on his job, right? You hear me, Ben?
Yes. Yeah. He went. Right. He was picked up on his job.
Right. Now, there's a procedure where when a public servant, when it is felt like a public servant, it has engaged in misconduct or any ill discipline, even if it is of a criminal nature, even if the thing that the person may have broken any law, there is a procedure, and the procedure starts with the superintendent of prisons informing the permanent secretary, who informs Services Commission. Mm-hmm. If the commission thinks that it's a case in which the law has been broken, then they seek advice from the office of the DPP. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't know the police cannot come on the compound unless the permanent secretary calls the police. And the acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of National Security is Ms. Pompey. The superintendent of prisons himself, that's not his responsibility. That's not his role. His role is to report. So we are really concerned that perhaps the procedure was not followed. Because I don't know if the permanent secretary acting would have called the police, because the regulations really give them that power to so do, even though the commission has to deal with the matter. Okay, if it's a very, very serious issue, they can go to that stage and call the police to pick up a public servant, right? But there are rules within the police act, the prison act, when a prisoner assaults an officer, and in this case, from the allegation that we have seen, the prisoner assaulted Mr. King, and therefore the onus should have been to try and deal with the prisoner, have an investigation, and the commission is charged with doing an investigation before doing anything else. Arresting is the last thing, because you have to first show that the law has been broken.
Mr. Boucher, you said just now that the police cannot go on the compound? Is that what you said?
The police cannot go and arrest a public servant unless the permanent secretary calls the police. So they have to call in the police.
Let me ask you, if the public servants commit murder, the police can't go and arrest that person unless you get permission?
If a public servant commits murder, it is obvious that the ministry must know immediately. I mean, these things are pretty
but the police must get permission from the permanent secretary? Is that what you're saying?
Right. The regulation says that if a public servant commits any offense, if the thing that offense is of, even if it's of a criminal nature, the permanent secretary can call the police to arrest that public servant, even though the permanent secretary has to relate the information to the service commission. So I guess it takes into account incidents where you may not have the time to inform the commission, because the regulation says, notwithstanding that, the permanent secretary can call the police in.
So when Mr. Weeks said that the police can usurp the authority of anyone, basically, in terms of arrest, and could go in no matter what the situation is, no matter what procedure there is, and can go in, move in and arrest, he was wrong?
Did he quote a law
no.
When he has to
and I hope I'm quoting him correctly, or I am giving the gist of what he said correctly.
He has to quote the law, because the regulation is also law, and the regulation as it relates to public servants.
Okay, can you then quote me the law in which to back up what you were saying?
It's the public service regulations, the section on discipline. I don't have the document here.
Right.
But it is the public service regulations, the section that speaks to discipline in the public service, and the procedures to follow, even if the offense is one that they think that a law has been broken.
Wow.
Okay, and going from there, the commission has a lot of power in that regard. But like I say, it anticipates cases in which you may not, given the urgency of the matter,
right,
the permanent secretary can summon the police immediately.
Okay.
It makes provisions for that.
So based on what you're saying, due process was not followed?
Well, I would like to know if the permanent secretary acting called the police. And furthermore, Bing, this matter is not a matter, in my view, for the police to come in at this stage. This is a matter for the Department of Prisons, Brenton Charles, to do what he has to do his investigation, report to the permanent secretary. If she thinks this is a matter that requires disciplinary procedures, then she ought to follow the regulations, inform the commission, and then we take it from there. After you have done the investigation and you think a crime has been committed, Remember, the commission has to seek the advice of the DPP.
Right.
If they think that is the case. And I don't think all of that particular procedure was actually followed. How did we get to the point where the public servant was arrested on the job for allegedly defending himself? I mean,
Right, I got you.
That is mind-boggling. And given what has been happening with this particular public officer, we are led to really think that this is deliberate on the part of the state authorities. It is like an attempt to prosecute one particular public officer for whatever reason. I really don't know. I really don't know the reasons.
Just one question. In the article we read this morning, it said that a senior police officer conducted an investigation. So are you saying that it should not just be any senior officer running the investigation?
For a senior police officer to conduct an investigation, the process has to go through the DPP from the Public Service Commission. As I said, unless an intervention was made by the permanent secretary directly to the police department.
Right.
And in any case, she has to inform the commission because you're bringing charges against a public servant and for an incident that has occurred on his job. It is public service related.
Right. Do you think this is a bad precedent that has been set? And if so, what recourse, if any?
It is a bad precedent. Because it means that there are cases in which you're not going to give way to the necessary investigation, and a police officer can just walk on the job and pick up any public servant, irregardless of what the issue are. It could be slight. Because this, as I said, this is a matter that I think needed to be dealt with by the Public Service Commission, the Permanent Secretary, and the Mr. Brenton Charles, who's in charge of the prisons. It needed to be dealt with in that particular manner. And if they think Mr. King has faulted the law, then they need to seek the advice from the DPP. Like I said, there is a section in the Prison Act that deals with prisoners attacking staff. Now, I haven't heard anything about any disciplinary proceedings against the alleged prisoner. I mean, it's not come out in the news because I really don't have the full details. But I haven't heard that.
I want to ask you about another matter that recently came out of another public servant. One, Mr. Dakin, I read an article in which he was arrested and charged. He's a public servant. Are you aware of this matter?
No, I am not.
You're not aware of this matter?
No, I'm not.
I heard as well that he was suspended. Well, if you don't know, then no sense me asking you the rest of the question.
I don't know.
Back to Mr. King. Well, can you follow that up for me, please? Dakin, who is in charge of the... Oh, boy. He was in...
Hey, you were talking about the guy who's in charge of the energy unit.
The energy unit, yes.
Yeah, I think I read that, but that was a matter that was not related to his job, was it?
It didn't take place.
It didn't take place on the compound.
Right.
Okay, all right.
But the commission can suspend him. They can interdict him. As a public servant, if you are charged with a criminal act, you can be interdicted by the commission until that matter has been heard and decided upon.
Okay. This matter with Mr. King took place yesterday. Did you have a chance to rendezvous with your executive as president of the union to discuss the matter? Have you done anything at all?
No, actually, we are meeting today.
You're meeting on it today?
Yes. I was in conversation with some persons because yesterday afternoon while I was going home, I actually learned some of the details of the issue. I saw a post on Facebook sometime earlier, but it didn't have any. I didn't know whether he was arrested or not. And then since then, I've been in contact with some persons to really get a full understanding of what's happened. I know Jomo is his lawyer, and Jomo is a lawyer that the union also used. In this case, being the Kenson's legal defense or legal representation should be at the expense of the union, because this is where the union comes in and provide that legal representation. Like I say, we have not said we're going to have a conversation on it and get some more information on what has been taking place and what are the details, any more details that we need to know.
So no one reached out to Mr. King as yet, because you didn't get a chance to sit down as executive. Okay. And your next step will be?
Well, our next step is to have a conversation with Mr. King, or perhaps he's a lawyer, to really get a full understanding of the entire matter. And then, like I say, we have the legal recourses that the union provides, legal representation, and whatever else we have to do with respect to the manner in which this incident took place, then we'll have to do so.
Okay. All right. I really appreciate you calling, Mr. Boucher, as president of the union. I really, really do. And please keep us up to date. I will be contacting you on Monday to get a further update on this matter. But I appreciate you took the initiative to pick up your phone and give us a call on this matter this morning. Okay?
All right, Bing, thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boucher, president of the Public Service Union, of which is part of the whole mix of this situation with Mr. King this morning. Tell you what, we're going to take a break. We come back. We got Jerry George coming right up immediately after this commercial break. Let's do this and come back.
No, we have to take over.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good?
Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. Follow these simple steps. Remove all jewelry before washing hands. Wet hands using running water. Place liquid soap in hand. Circulate using rotational movements, interlace fingers, and repeat switching hands. Wash back of fingers, rotating them in the palms. Wash fingertips, rotating them in palms. Wash thumbs using rotational movements. Thoroughly wash hands down to the wrists. Rinse hands. Dry with clean tissue. Turn off tap using tissue. Use tissue to open door and discard in bin. A simple act can make a huge difference. Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. This is a message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment.
On point, dropping shade and setting the trends.
You drinking the haterade.
It's the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Shady. DJ on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
The Love Zone.
The best R&B jams, period.
Hear it on Boom 1069.
Here we go! Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom. Galaxy by far. And DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good to
know we have to take over?
Change the music. Yeah, but I just wanted you to know that it's all Bing, okay?
Oh boy.
It's all Bing?
Jerry, she made me hit my head. She pushed my head against the wall this morning, banged my head against the wall, and then she's making stuff
But
up.
after all of these years, it's the first time you admit that you hit your head.
No, she banged my head
So
against the wall.
we now understand.
Jerry, I didn't say I did. She did it. She banged my head against the wall.
Okay, whatever. So we now admit you now admit that
Exactly.
you hit your head.
Jerry, a lot happening this morning.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Let me hear your comments.
Go ahead.
Well, we want to hear you. We want to hear...
You heard Mr. Weeks. You heard Poya. You heard the president of the union, Mr. Boucher. You heard some messages which we got. So you'll give your opinion on all of this now. That's taking place.
So to be frank with you, sometimes on these things, I don't know what to comment. I honestly don't know what to comment. Because you wonder what is at the heart of a lot of this stuff. Eh? You wonder what is at the heart of it. And I can't say that I have my own self investigated, but I've been reading stuff on Facebook and I've been, following this and following that. What really is this, what really is going on? Is it somebody out to get Kenton out? What is it really? No, you guys have heard more than I have heard. What does it look like?
I give my opinion.
He gave his opinion earlier.
Yeah, I give my opinion on it.
Bing thinks it's harassment.
Yes, I think.
No, because that's why I'm asking it the same way. Yeah. And what I find funny is who they sent to arrest him.
Who they send? Who they send?
You don't know this?
No, Jerry, come the man. Don't
But you
do that,
can't
man.
do that. How you see you?
Jerry,
He's a bait king.
you're supposed to message me off here and tell me this thing, Jerry. You can answer, man.
Well, I got message you afterwards.
No, but you can't do that, Jerry, man.
Come on, straight up. This is you. Look again, Look again,
Jerry, man, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I thought all you know.
No.
So
who went to arrest Kenson?
Brenton Smith, I understand, is he posted this then.
Oh, that was deliberate. Me call Commissioner John when I done with you, eh?
No, that is why I'm saying. That is why I'm saying. This has everything on the shape of a setup. I mean, did they expect Brendan to say no and then probably find a reason against him too? The whole thing is mad. But that is what I was told again. If I'm wrong, but I was told that.
But that's what you were reliably informed that.
Yes,
But Jerry, on a different note, isn't every police officer an arresting officer?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that is true. That is.
But you think that it was deliberate? It's a deliberate. You said.
If it was in fact him.
If it was in fact him.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because they wanted to not just mess up Kenson, they wanted to mess up King.
Just in case.
Smith. Was it Brenton Smith, right?
Smith, yeah.
They wanted to mess up both of them.
Yeah. So that is my understanding. I say, if I'm wrong, I will take it back. But that is what I understand.
Me call my partner, calling here. Me with you. Me with you. Me taking nothing from me. Me call it. The man fact, me message him right now. Call it. Jerry, you ain't gonna make me bang my head against the wall again. Weeks make me do it. You ain't gonna make me do it too. 2 times in 1 night is too much. Oh God, man. My head swell up big.
I think you need some ice.
I know.
Ice reduce the swelling.
So, but Jerry, what do you think about the process? Because that's what we've been discussing a lot this morning.
I don't know about St. Vincent and process. We have this in St. Vincent. A lot depends on who.
It depends on who?
A lot depends on who.
Okay.
Look at the situation with the registration. There was another incident yesterday.
Yes, we have that down to talk about.
In Pine Hill, at the technical college. What is going on? Why do people think that because they get a job given to them by the taxpayers of the country, they feel that they're loyal to who gave them the job? I want to repeat again, I said it yesterday, and I want to repeat it for as many times as necessary. That position that they are taking is not in the representation of the People's Act. The representation of the People's Act is that which controls the whole process of the electoral system. So don't make anybody make you feel that you're doing something wrong. What was interesting in the case yesterday that I listened to them, it was the security officer on the compound. The whole thing is just mad. This was the security officer on the compound who decided that these people didn't have any right in there. So you asked me the process.
Hold on. Go. Mm-hmm. What do you mean the security officer? What?
The facility security officers who stopped the people was trying to dissuade them and stop them from coming onto the compound to observe the registration. They can't say that they spoke to anybody involved in the registration, but it was the security of the compound who decided that they mustn't go. The security of the compound was probably told that.
My watch just sent me a minute, tell me to breathe.
Yeah.
Serious, look down. My watch say, you need to breathe.
You breathe?
Yeah, you need to breathe.
Who's me on your neck?
Oh, Jesus.
I am not in the room.
The compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that comes back to this whole, what is wrong with a simple things like these we make a whole mountain out of? But I want, again, and I'm saying this specifically for the people in the opposition, know your RTA. And whenever you attack these matters, make sure that you are armed with the law. And if you feel that people are going against the law, bring an injunction against. Just stop the old talk. Going on radio and prancing up an old talk ain't mean nothing. They don't demonstrate that they don't care about that. Go to the court. Bring an injunction against them and test it. Every time they come to something like that, test it in the court. Because that is what the Representation of the People's Act is for. Let's just stop the old talking and stop allowing people to run rings around us and waste time. We have much more important things to do. That is my advice to the people, especially those in the opposition. That's your job.
For those who don't know, Jerry, before you get off of this matter, please tell us specifically what transpired yesterday, please.
Well, as I said, they went. A couple of the people from the NDP went to obviously, they say to observe the flow of what was happening with terms of the registration. When they got onto the compound, my understanding of it, the security of the compound, that is the technical college, told them they were not permitted in. That's what I understood. Yeah, but a lot of money because we just behave what's on a
Jerry, has this
republic.
happened any time previously that you can recall?
Not that I know. This is the first time I'm hearing
But
this
so how come suddenly is so much
Well,
issues?
it happened
Well,
because...
I'm asking the question.
You need to go bang your head against me.
No, because I want to know, well, why all of a sudden everybody is so tense about this.
Daniel, you know when people say hit your head, what do you mean?
Jerry,
I want you to put the answer out there. That's what I'm asking the question.
No, listen, this has come up big now because of the response to Ben Exeter, who went into his constituency, for which he's the caretaker, and decided that he was going there to observe how registrations were taking place. He was objected to and all the rest of it. We know the story. Now, I am thinking that of all the constituencies you should raise an issue like that about, is Central Leeward. Central Leeward was central to the confusion in the last election. It was central to the petition. Why? Because the returning officer admitted that there were over 300 ballots that he counted that he ought not to have counted. But he decided to count them because he said he thought what was good for the goose was good for the gander. So I keep thinking when you count, you see this one for the goose and this one for the gander, this one for the goose and this one for the gander. Could be one thing. So you would understand why Mr. Exeter, having had that experience, having been through that, would be very mindful about registration. So we're not talking about this where it comes out with no context. It has a huge context coming out of the last election. Over 300 ballots, that were counted that the returning officer said he knew ought not to have been counted. And yet, coming into that very situation, you have people behaving as foolish as they are, really? I would say to all the people, to all the candidates, in every single constituency.
On both sides?
Both sides. But obviously, double mark them. These people ought to know that they are working for us. They're not working for some political party or somebody. They are paid by taxpayers. It's our money. We have a right to know what is happening. Okay? And as I said, the Representation of the People Act is the laws under which the whole process of the elections are conducted, from registration right down to the end. That's what it is. And if anybody breaks those to you, bring an injunction against them. Take them to the court. Stop the old talk and rah. Take them to the court. Let's stop the foolishness. I feel how it's going to stop.
No, I just got an interested message, so I was taking up it. So that's that for the registration process. Do we have registration processes going on today in different areas?
Yeah, in different areas at all times. There's always some registration going on. Someone
just asked, why are we assuming there is something wrong going on?
Listen to me. What do you mean, why are you assuming something wrong going on? If you go to something that should be public and people want to hide from you, who making you feel something wrong going on? If you go to something which ought to be transparent and public, and people don't want you there, who is sending the signal that something is wrong, something wrong is happening? Who's sending the signal? It's as simple as that,
I would have thought that given what transpired in the last elections, Jerry and David All, that you will want to make this process so smooth that it doesn't, what happened, there isn't all this speculation, and if a particular party didn't win, they would go and carry on and say they thieved the election and all that you will open up the process to be totally transparent, and you will try to make sure that nothing of this sort happens again. And if I was in any position, Jerry, to decide or advise whether it be a position who is in charge, a minister in charge. I don't know if there's a minister in charge of the electoral department.
Yeah, there's somebody.
There's somebody. I would have called, summoned that person, the electoral officer, to an instant meeting and say, listen, stop that because you're affecting my party. Be clear cut, be open, as just give these people, make it transparent as possible, so that if anything goes wrong, we don't have anybody start saying the thief. And the opposition, as you said, they need to be more proactive.
They need to get in there.
Anything, challenge these things immediately. Don't wait until after election when they don't win or something like that. You don't start to say, well, this happened then and this. Challenge them immediately. You see, in the Caribbean, we're not used to challenging things, on the spur of the moment.
Goodbye, nigga. Don't say the Caribbean, because that is one thing I learned out of Guyana about. Them gone to court because it is a law. You see, we think running on the radio station and making noise and on Facebook, that ain't doing nothing. Take them to court. Bring an injunction and let the court decide. Because the court can only decide based on the law. Take them to court. Bring an injunction against them. There's enough lawyers to go around. Let's do it. Let's do the work. Stop the running to radio and thinking you're making fuss on social media. Forget that foolishness. Take them to court. Let them stop the nonsense. But what I find amazing here is that the person in charge of the electoral position now is new, brand new. Why would you want to even start knowing all the confusion that happened before? Don't you want to come across as being different? And therefore, you have to control the people who are out there in your name. You have to control them. But in one case, I understand the person came out, the case of an exeter, went on the phone, spoke with somebody, and all the rest of it. So what is really going on? For a matter for which they had no right to act the way they did.
About some messages here, I don't know if any of them related to you. Let's find out.
If the public servant commit the crime on the job, like how Kenzo was on the job, that is where going wrong, that had to come in.
Jerry?
I didn't click. It started before I really heard. But something about if a crime was committed on the job.
I played again. Okay.
As a paragraph, Mr. Parra need to say, if the public servant commit the crime on the job, like how Kenzo was on the job, that is where going wrong, that had to come in.
No, somebody does something wrong on their job, and especially if this person suggested as a criminal offense, it has to be treated as such, doesn't it?
I'm not sure what Jerry is planning to speak about today, but I'm wondering if he's aware that our Secretary of State, Mr. Pompeo, has announced visa restrictions, sanctions against officials of the Guyanese government, and has called on President David Granger of Guyana, to step aside as a result of the election fiasco ongoing. And I would like to get some feedback from him about this. Thanks.
Yeah, I plan to mention it as I was leaving, actually. What we saw yesterday was clearly the continued synchronized movement of people outside of Ghana to try to influence what is happening in Ghana. What's the story? The story is that according to the Guyana's constitution and its electoral commission, they have some issues. They are walking through the issues. Now they went to court. The day after they went to court, you have the U.S., Brazil, am I forgetting all the names now? UK. Everybody is coming out. Let the matter go through the court system. Right? Why is this continued bullying? Because that is what I call it. So, 10 o'clock, the US says something. 10:15, the UK says something. 10:30, the other. It's totally synchronized. It's synchronized bullying. And I really hope the people and the leadership of Guyana has the guard in which to stand up and tell them, no, we have a system and we're walking this thing through according to the Constitution. If when it gets to the point some declarations made and people want to go against it, that's a different story. All right? But I am saying from day one, this matter has had too much influence of outsiders on it, and that is why it's where it's at. I didn't say that CARICOM also had their input into it. There's nobody trying to pull the pieces, the things together. Now. It's just one partisan position that is being taken to nobody's good.
Okay.
Because, oh boy.
Before Jerry goes, just a WhatsApp message I'm seeing here, okay? What exactly did Ben Exeter want to see at the registration site? Isn't seeing the person entering the place enough? Why does he have to listen to the information given to the registration officer? Is that not private?
The law does not forbid him to be there and to know. Full stop. Why he was there, what he was there for, is none of your business either. He has the right to be there if he wants to. The law does not deny him that. Let's just stay there. We like to have all these kind of fancy questions and this and that. The law permits him to. I understand in one particular case, right in the East Kingston area here, people come, and when people show up, they can't register because they're trying to transfer. So they can't register when eyes are there. That's what you have to be there for. You have to be there so that when the transports, the illegal transports are attempted, that the people who try to do those illegal transports know somebody is watching. That's what it's there for. We want to pretend that it's otherwise. That is why people need to be there to observe. Because there are parties that use this whole question of bringing people into constituencies who do not belong there to populate the constituencies with sufficient votes to make a difference on election day. That is why they need to pay attention. Well, that's what he did, what he wants to be there for and what he wants to see. It's none of your business. He has a right to if he wants to.
Okay, we have another comment here. Jerry makes me laugh out loud. How come he doesn't think the USA is bullying Venezuela? If I'm going to register for my ID card, I don't want a political crazy man on either side around me.
How'd I go?
The person is saying that you make them laugh out loud.
No, I heard the first part and I'm laughing at that too. I'm laughing
How
at
come
them.
you don't think Venezuela is bullying?
Mm-hmm.
You heard that.
Yeah, hold on.
If I'm going to...
Stop right this first. The person is laughing out loud. How the same Mia Motley who complained about Pompeo going to Jamaica and having a meeting with, they forget all of that. They're laughing out loud for that. How all of a sudden they're in the same page now? The same Mia Motley. So the same leaders who making and trying to harass Guyana, you remember when they refused to go to Jamaica? The person is laughing out loud. My position ain't mean nothing, you know. Those are the people's position mean something. I hope that person is laughing out loud.
Okay, hold on.
There's quite a bit here for you, Jerry, buddy.
So what can he object to? The name, the marital status, the age, what? Okay, so they're asking if he's there, what can he make objections to? That's, I guess.
I just told you all what the real issue is. The real issue is not to object to this or that. It's to make sure that the person who is seeking to register is bona fide. that the person does belong to the constituency, etc., etc. That's what it's about. There's not to go and say, well, you didn't really married on Saturday the 25th. No, you actually married closer to Sunday because you were ended late. That is not what it's about. It's about to ensure that the people seeking to register are bona fide.
Okay, one more, Jerry. I agree with Jerry that the opposition should bring these matters to court, but most people are of the opinion that matters brought to the court by the opposition tends to be handled in a way that gives the perception of bias.
But then once we don't bring it, we play to their hand. Bring it. Let the matter be seen and let the law be brought to bear on it so that people see that there is a bias. Don't assume it. Bring it. Bring it to court. Put the law there and let us see how the system treats with it. Because the system ought to treat with it based on law. You might be wrong, but the important thing is you bring it to court. You see, when we bring it to the radio station and make a success of night and everybody's phoning, I will try to make to social media, everybody have comments that mean nothing. Means absolutely nothing at the end of the day.
Straight up.
Straight up. And I got
straight up, real talk, unfiltered and in your face. Jerry George.
Them know we have to take over.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it
on point, dropping shade and setting the trends?
You drinking the haterade?
It's the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Shady. DJ on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
The Love Zone.
The best R&B jams, period.
Hear it on Boom 1069.
Here we go!
Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom, Galaxy by far, and DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good to
know we have to take over?
On point, dropping shade and setting the trends.
You drinking the haterade.
It's the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Shade. On the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
They know we have to take over.
I dream again. I dream the rebel as them going mad again.
Pull it, pull it, pull it, connect.
Unruly, they can't stop the wind. 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 I had a dream, I dream again. I dream the rebel as them going mad again. I had a dream, I dream again. I dream the rebel as them going mad again. Look them over the machine up, look them over the jumping up, look them over the wedding up, look them over the they unruly. Unruly, they can't stop the wind. 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 I had a dream, I dream again. I dream the rebel as them going mad again. I had a dream, I dream again. I dream the rebel as them going mad again. Look them over the machine up, look them over the jumping up, look them over the wedding up, look them over the they unruly. Nobody can stop the way. They unruly. Nobody can control me. They unruly. Everybody machine up. They unruly.
Gonna pray and I pray for a day like today, bright and shining. Soca glory, everyone with a flag and a smile on their face. Lordy daddy of every creed and race, Lord. Phenomenal, lovely atmosphere. If the Lord is our shepherd, who shall be feared? Aye, the party starts, fantastic Friday. Sincerely from your heart, thank God it's Friday. I'm just here to say I love you. Fantastic Friday. If why somebody blue, thank God it's Friday. Friday, match up the place. Friday, 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 Friday. The bouncing star, 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 the bouncing star. We don't start, get ready, sit up on start. Between your new, we lining up, ready to charge ahead. For what is not enough, I want you to jump up, trample the ground now. We headed to downtown, get all of the railing. So much woman are trailing. Follow the big song, get ready to mash down. All in the stadium, the whole of the kingdom. Come down, time to show me your ways. Time to get out of line. You're born and ready for pace. Come on, right in the roadway. All in front of the gateway. All in front of the people. Business way. This is the kingdom. Wine and feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Every green and age. Feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Every road is the same. Feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wine and feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wine and feel it up. Wine and feel it up. Why, yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel it up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Feel it up. Why, yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel it up. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Throwback Thursday.
I love you too, my baby. And I'm not going to share it with them. I promise you, darling, which was meant for me, it will be for only me. I love you. Oh, man, sending me some breakfast. No, oh, woman. Ah, my old man sending me some breakfast, baby. Look at them, all them standing. I'm like, what the hell?
You need us to leave so you can have your moment?
What are you talking about? Hey, listen, Commissioner John will be joining us on the phone in another 5 minutes or so. I reached out to him while Jerry was on, and he said that he will give me a call in about 20 minutes. He was doing his national duty, something that all of us should do, except me, because I had diabetes. He was giving blood. So at some point in time, we should all find the time to do that. Dan, I know you will do that. Well, we want his blood. Morales will do that.
Listen, he has a serious, I'll save that. I'll save that for when we're off air.
But on a serious note, at some point, I think at least once a year, everyone should find that time to go and give some blood. And you get sweetie. Something to suck on. Morales, buddy, you good? Yeah, buddy. Yesterday was Morales' birthday, actually.
And we missed an opportunity to have
a party. At Boom, we love an opportunity to have a party. Anything, any reason, anything. You fall down, we're going to have a party.
So where was my party?
You fell down?
I had a whole child. I think that definitely
No, it's
deserves
coming.
something. Wow,
no,
soon?
No.
Soon?
We had your party when you were at home taking care of of Baby Legend.
Wow, that's okay.
Remember, according to you, it's not about you.
It's about everybody.
Everybody,
okay,
yeah. We had your party for you.
I definitely took one for the team.
You. I mean, come on, that's what we do around here. I know they're going to have a party for me. When I got sick, I'm sure they had a party.
Actually, we didn't.
You didn't?
No.
You guys missed out on an opportunity?
Yep.
Well, you get sick and see what happened. We're bringing a band in here. You get sick, we're bringing a band in here. Bringing kinetics.
But happy belated birthday, Morales. Yes.
Morales, you can't move, son of man. Come on, man. How you going to move?
Next time, we're having a party.
You can't be having a birthday and not telling us. It doesn't matter. If you don't want it, it's not fine. We happy if you don't want the party. More for us. We just need a reason to have a party in Boom. Boom and Ike TV. I've never seen more parties in one institution. Everything. Rain come is a party. Sun too hot is a party.
Flex birthday is a party.
No, you know what?
He's a real hater.
Yeah.
He's a real hater.
No, I don't like Flex.
Flex, though, why you like him? He's a man. Why you think that he's
Flex,
going to want
I do not
a
care
man
about
to
you.
like him?
I do not
you
care
think
about
that hurts in my DJ feelings? Listen, me and you will fall
It
out.
should. Flex, people just take it on when I don't like them, you know. Like, really take it on, you know.
Flex won't be one of them.
Okay.
And notice he won't put on his microphone so he could defend himself.
Why is the red light? There's a red light in the room.
Because somebody's downstairs
at the
trying
door?
to get in.
Okay, what should we do?
Oh, we had the TV off, that's why.
Okay. Morales again. No, Morales. What your name? Mario again. Turn off the TV on them and they ain't tell nobody, so we ain't know what's going on.
Mario does these things a lot, eh?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they turn off the TV so we can't monitor what's happening at the door, so we don't know if to open the door or not to open the door.
Sorry if you're locked out and
we can't help about it, we ain't sure.
Because we need to see who's there before we could just open the door. So you have a voice note there. You want to play it?
I do. There's several
yes, okay, good.
We got doctorates coming up. And also we stand by to hear from Commissioner John on the situation with regards to the arrest of Kingston King. We stand by to have that.
Morning, Randy. Randy is requesting a song, Believe by Dynamite. Yes, you have it.
No, we can't play that today. Today's
He says it's a throwback.
Is it a throwback?
You don't know nothing.
Tell me about it. It is better to know that you don't know nothing than to pretend you know something and you don't know.
All right, good point.
If you guys can permit me just to briefly respond to that WhatsApp message that Daniel just read to Jerry about what Ben wanted to observe when he showed up. And the person went on to ask whether or not just observing the people who go in and out to participate in the registration process is enough. I don't think so. I don't think it's enough just to see who goes in and comes out. I think more importantly, we have to ensure that whatever they do during the process itself, they be incredible, they presenting the correct credentials, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, I think it's not just observing superficially who goes in and comes out. We have to ensure that what they do as part of the process, not just them, but the registration officer is credible. Hey, Bing, I have a question for Pastor Richards, and I'm wondering if you would permit me to ask him when he comes on, because for the past several days or so, he has been focusing on certain issues of social and political interest in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as it relates to matters surrounding the upcoming elections. And based on the criteria that he set out yesterday, I am convinced that a lot of what's happening right now in terms of the pork barreling is in fact electoral bribery. But the question is, in 2000, I think, subject to correction, as part of the Grand Beach Accord, two bodies were set up: the National Monitoring and Consultative Mechanism, NMCM, and the National Monitoring and Consultative Committee, NMCC. And at the core of those two organizations was the Christian Church, the Christian community, the Christian Council, sorry. And they were responsible for dealing with any issues arising from of a socio-political nature arising from elections and or electoral matters. They seem not to be functioning. What are your thoughts?
All right. We told you earlier on that we're going to have Commissioner John with us. Commissioner, you there?
Yeah, morning, Ding.
Morning. Okay, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've got Commissioner John on the phone. And Commissioner, I talked out your business that you're giving blood, something that every citizen should do. And we even said that at least once a year we should find the time. Not me, because I have diabetes, right? And I fear needles. So, but I want to congratulate you for doing that. You know, I don't know why you did it, but it was a good gesture to people.
I'm a regular blood donor. So.
What is you when you give blood, Commissioner?
Hello?
What do you get when you give blood?
Well, the satisfaction of knowing that you're assisting someone.
You don't get a malt or something like that, or something
well,
like that?
they give that as a form of recouping your energy and stuff like that.
Oh, I thought it was a drink. All right, okay. Commissioner, this morning we spent a lot of time. You sounding very, let me see my volume.
Low.
This morning we spent a lot of time discussing the Mr. King issue, where he was arrested on the job as a prison officer at the prisons. We're not talking about the facts in the matter, why and this and all that and all that. What we want to deal with is the procedure, whether the proper protocol was followed, given he's a public servant, and what the Act in the Public Service says in terms of how these things must be done. Could you give me some information on this, please?
Well, I'm prepared to be educated by the persons who seem to be an authority on it as to where the law prevents a police officer from going on someone's job and arresting them. Based on my knowledge of the law, the police has authority to arrest anybody anywhere in St. Vincent, any bay, key, on any ship, or anything of that nature. So I'm yet to learn of any prohibition from arresting anyone at their workplace. It has been done before. I do not know that there's anything in the law preventing it from happening again.
So it's not a situation where you need to get permission from the permanent secretary of that particular ministry?
Well, I'll say I'm prepared to be educated. Persons seem to be knowledgeable in it. I do not profess to know everything, so I'm prepared to be educated in that regard.
Okay. All right. So he was picked up at what time yesterday, Commissioner?
Well, based on my information, sometime around midday, from my knowledge, he was invited to come to the CID. Okay. He told the investigating officer that his lawyer advised him not to come to CID. So the police officer had no option but to go and get him where he was.
Oh, that's a completely different thing now. That's a completely different spin on it now. Then when I say spin, I mean from what the original information came out was that the officers just went at the prisons and arrested him.
No, he was invited to come to CID. In fact, he was told about this investigation days before. He was invited to come to the station. He was supposed to come day before yesterday. He didn't come. He told the police officer he was going to come yesterday. when after 10, the police officer contacted him. He indicated that his lawyer told him not to come to the station. So the police had no choice but to go and get him.
Commissioner, you see how valuable
Information
transmission of information is, because the public had a completely different take on this matter. All right, and even to say it was days before that he was
Right.
asked to come. We understand as well, and correct the information if it's not correct, that the arresting officer was Officer Brenton Smith.
That's not correct.
That's not correct.
The person who investigated the matter and who arrested him is Sergeant Bowens from the CID department.
Okay. What exactly are the charges being brought against King?
Well, I haven't seen a charge, but it may be of wounding or assault bodily harm. Some offense relating to physical injury.
Okay.
Are you aware? I don't know if you can give us this information, but we'll understand if you can't. Was there?
I'm not hearing you clearly, though.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm not sure if you'll be able to give us this information. If you can't, that's fine. We'll understand. Was there a complaint or anything of the sort made by Mr. King concerning an prisoner striking him?
And he had to.
No report of that nature was made to the police, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. The police took action on this matter, Commissioner, because of a request, a report.
A report that was made. Yeah.
By a private citizen, not the prisoner.
A lawyer acting on behalf of the prisoner wrote me about it. I sent the matter to CID to be investigated. The matter was investigated. Persons were interviewed, the prisoner and other prisoners were interviewed. Based on the information, there was sufficient evidence to prefer a charge, and that was done.
There are persons in the public, Commissioner, who have the opinion that Mr. King is being harassed. What do you say to these people? Including myself.
Well,
I said it earlier on. Sorry.
Well, I don't know if I'm being harassed. It's just persons are trying to make it political or trying to read more into it. As far as I'm concerned, a report was made. Whenever a report is made, we investigate the report. If there's evidence to support and sustain the charge, we charge the person. So no one is immune from investigation. No one is immune from being charged.
Okay. The matter goes to court today?
Yes, the matter should be going to court today.
Okay. And overall, general information you want to give to the public, because what you said this morning, this is the first time that the public is hearing about this, and all morning the public is up in arms about the situation, not getting all of the information. What else do you want to put out there?
Well, I don't want to speak about this matter. The matter is before the court. As much as, out of respect for you and the fact that you said you needed some information as regard it, I spoke as much as I think I legally should. I just want to once again thank the members of the public for their support. We had a successful crime prevention workshop last week. We also should be launching the e-bus CCTV project next week. So there are a lot of positives, and I just want to really thank the police. There was a murder in Duvalley sometime last week where I think a Grenadian was killed. 2 persons were charged and should be going to court today for that offense. So as I say, we are doing our best despite of the situation, and while the COVID situation is certain dynamics that we have to deal with in terms of persons who may enter St. Vincent and the Grenadines illegally. So we have to adhere to certain protocols when approaching them, meaning the police and the Coast Guard. So the dynamics is shifting, but we are prepared to deal with the situation as they arise.
Commissioner, as you just mentioned, COVID-19, one question before you leave us. In terms of persons breaking quarantine, because we've been hearing a lot of talk about the last international flight that came in, have there been any reports or anything of the sort made about persons breaking quarantine?
Yeah, there are reports. We investigated the matter. Based on our investigation as regards the last case and the persons who were reported, we were informed by the relevant authorities and the person that they actually obtained a negative test before entering St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is the protocol. They obtained a negative COVID test 72 hours before entering St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that was in fact the case. So we investigated it and found out that to be the case.
So you're not required to still do a 24-hour quarantine period?
The health authority would advise, but in these specific cases, they fulfill the criteria laid down by the health authority.
And what does the law allow you, the police, to do in the event that you've got evidence that someone has broken the quarantine?
They can take them to court, and they can be charged for each time they break the quarantine. So if you broke it today, you can be charged, and you broke it tomorrow, so separate charge. So you can be charged and taken to court.
And you've not done that at all. You've not gotten that far.
Well, based on the investigations and the reports, we had not had sufficient evidence to put forward a charge against anyone.
Okay. And with regards to amplified music and events, that is also freed up. Have you granted permission for any events at all to take place?
Yeah, we have granted permission for several events. We have included on the permission to play amplified music the health protocol. I know for a fact that, some of the places that I have visited, I've seen them adhering to the protocol as outlined by the health enforcement.
And will you be maintaining that in terms of enforcement of the restrictions that are still in place for those parties and events that are granted permission?
Yes, we definitely will be maintaining that.
After you get off, we're going to play some commercials, and we're going to bring on Dr. Richards, Pastor Richards, right?
My former teacher.
Former teacher, and mine too. The protocols that are in place for amplified music, hand sanitizing stations, and all that. Is it the same for churches?
Similar. Yes, because based on the health, the document from health, it includes churches. So it speak about congregants and other persons of that nature. So it includes church.
Okay. Commissioner, thank you very much for always being available to us whenever we need you. And thank you very much for giving that information. I know that the information which you gave out this morning will put a completely different twist on things today, because as everyone else, we all went along with the information that we got, which is completely different that you just give us. And we didn't know that he was invited to come in, and that it was several days before, and and all of that.
And that we were corrected on the arresting
officer information. Well, the person who gave us said that they didn't know for sure.
Yes.
All right. Commissioner, thank you very much, okay?
Thank you, Big.
Thank you very much, Commissioner John, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. Tell you what, we're going to take a very short commercial pause, and we're going to come back with Dr. Richards.
You know we have to take over.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it?
Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. Follow these simple steps. Remove all jewelry before washing hands. Wet hands using running water. Place liquid soap in hand. Circulate using rotational movements, interlace fingers, and repeat switching hands. Wash back of fingers, rotating them in the palms. Wash fingertips, rotating them in palms. Wash thumbs using rotational movements. Thoroughly wash hands down to the wrist. Rinse hands. Dry with clean tissue. Turn off tap using tissue. Use tissue to open door and discard in bin. A simple act can make a huge difference. Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. This is a message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment.
Here we go! Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom, Galaxy by far, and DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
The Love Zone.
The best R&B jams, period.
Hear it on Boom 1069.
On point, dropping shade and setting the trends.
You drinking the haterade.
It's the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Shady. DJ on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
Them know we are fit take over. Them know we are fit take over.
We got some other messages that we didn't get to.
Okay, somebody said. Okay.
Doc is on the line.
Right.
Okay. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Morning, Pastor.
Good morning, Daniel. Let me catch my brother. Just ran up the stairs to try to make it in. Did I keep you guys waiting?
4 minutes.
I don't think so, Bing.
To lie to your pastor.
I went downstairs and the ads were playing and I had to run to it. Like the boys going back. I was dealing with something that I said to the guys, look, it looks like it's going to be my time soon, so I got to run. So I ran up the stairs.
I accept your apologies. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to me, Bing. Oh, you want me to talk to you?
Yes,
Over the past couple of days, I've been
please.
talking to you guys.
No,
without much
you need to
interruption.
talk to him. You need to talk to him. Pastor, please. Minister to him.
He will listen.
Dr. Richard, did you hear Commissioner John a while? I hope you heard him a while ago.
Yeah. I mean, I started listening and then I had to run. I was dealing with something. Some guys came to do some stuff, so I had to deal with that, okay?
Daniel is of the opinion that you're going to zero in on what Commissioner John said and that you're going to come in and talk about. You see why it's good to get both sides and this and that and all of that.
Yeah, that's a given. But let me, because I have limited time, let me zero in on something that was different, that has its context in what I have been doing over the past couple of weeks, actually. But I ramped it up last week, and I said I'm not going to relent. This whole matter of politicking at the time of election and what we need to be concerned about, and fair and impartial, unbiased commentary and assessment and response to all that is taking place in election season. Now, a gentleman called in this morning. I hadn't heard from him in quite some time. McCarthy Young, I think is his name. I inquired about him actually and said, boy, since COVID I haven't heard. I hope he's all right. So it's good to know that he's doing okay. He asked a question about the NMCM, the National Monitoring and Consultative Committee. And it's interesting that he asked that, because I was in conversation with someone earlier this morning on the self-same matter relating to the role of the NMCM. And for those who don't know, that in election time. Well, not just in election time, but the role is ramped up during election time. By the way, the NMCM, as far as I know, came out of the Grand Beach Accord. I think it was 2000. When was that now? Around 2000, for the purpose of primary purpose of monitoring the process, the democratic electoral process. And so it's not just national elections, but I think outside of monitoring the elections of 2005, 2010, 2015, they also monitored the the constitutional review, the referendum. That was 2009. That was also monitored by the NMCM, and from time to time. But by the way, let me back up because some people might be wondering. So, who sits on the NMCM? The chair, I think, last time was Monsignor from the Catholic Church. I say Monsignor. Father Stewart, I think it was.
Monsignor Mike?
Mike, yes. I think that's what was the last 2015. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at that time he was chairing. So I think the chair of this NMCM has to be the Christian Council of Churches. Since its original inception in 2000, where it was solely the Christian Council of Churches representing the Christian constituency, it has now broadened to include the Evangelical Association, the SDA Seventh-day Adventists, and Spiritual Baptists. It also has representatives from the National Council of Women, so their views are represented. The youth from National Youth Council, I don't know how functional that is, but in terms of the ideal, that they ought to be a part of it too. Chamber of Commerce, representing business interests. Bar Association, of course, there's some legal implications, so the Bar Association would be a part of this, and of course, the representative from the political parties. The main, last time, how many were contesting? I think 3 political parties were contesting. And the role of the NMCM, again, broadly speaking, is to monitor the the process, not just the election day, but the process. Let me show you what I mean. Coming out, and again, this is about 20 years they have been doing this, and each year, and it will be done again this year. Each year, the agreement, the accord, the guidelines are tweaked, and the parties are supposed to sign off on them. Whether or not they adhere, and the mechanism for enforcing is a whole different thing altogether. The public might be interested in what sort of things, what sort of decisions, what sort of recommendations would come out of the NMCM. I think one of the most poignant coming out over the 20-year history, this is just my opinion, but one of the most poignant and important coming out was the whole idea of registering voters on the attainment of their 18th birthday. Same like how I pay my license for my vehicle, for my driver's license, right? Every time my birthday roll around, I used to pay it every December. Now, every time my birthday rolls around, I have to go pay it. I think the idea of registering voters at the attainment of their birthday, rather than this bulk of registration taking place at election time, is a significant thing, because with the volume, as you increase the volume over a compressed period of time, it increases either innocent mistakes, or it allows itself, in the volume, it allows itself an opportunity for exploitation. So one of the things that the NMCM had recommended, and I don't know that it's being followed totally, but that at the attainment of your 18th birthday, that wherever you are, it's your birthday, shortly thereafter, get registered. Again, sometimes you change constituency, so that can happen. But this boom of, and I use that word deliberately, this boom of registration during election time, it is not very helpful. It lends itself to 2 things that I talked about a couple of days ago as part of politics and leading into election. Voter suppression, and particularly voter booming, which are tools that have been used all over the place. As I have researched, I've seen these things being used all of the time. And so right now, for example, we have this issue. I just heard this morning something coming out of Sion Hill where security, I mean, I heard it on this station. So if I'm wrong, I'm blaming you guys. But at least I can say I heard it, okay, that people were forbidden from going into a compound. Then you heard the issue of Ben Exeter. These things are issues related to voter registration. And interestingly, this is a very specific matter that the NMCM has given guidelines on. So that is part and parcel of the work of the NNCM. The NNCM also made another recommendation. This may have been 2015. But I know it was made. I'm not as young as I once was, so sometimes dates slip me. But I think this was 2015, where a very significant recommendation of the NMCM was for the proper training. I'm not saying that electoral and election officials are not trained, but for example, coming out of the last election, and actually this recommendation was made prior to the last election, I think. But coming out of the last election, we see again how relevant this particular recommendation was, because there were some human shortcomings, there were some human errors. Some want to claim that these were motivated human errors. There were some procedural errors. So all of these things highlight the fact that errors are being made, and errors can be reduced by proper training. Training, obviously, and the training procedures would obviously have to be vetted by all of the parties concerned, so that this is not training basically to condition the election officials to run the election in a particular way that favors one party. And then added to that, supplemental to this whole idea of training, which was put forward by the NMCM, was also this whole, they made a point of the early selection of officials. Now, I heard Jerry this morning before I went on stage, and I'm sure Jerry mentioned something about someone who is going to play a major part in this electoral process, being a new player in the game. And that contravenes, as far as I'm concerned, that contravenes something that the NMCM recommended, that in situations like this, particularly where we are just coming out of a contested election, in the sense that contested in court, that you and some of the issues related to that had to do with those who were heading up those who are at the helm of the electoral process. Let me leave it there. It seems to me that a late selection of a key election official does not augur well to avoid these kinds of issues. And the NMCM saw that, not for this election, but saw that even before the last election, and called and recommended the early selection of officials, so that they can become au fait with all of the procedures, the representation of the People Act, the nuances of the Representation of the People Act, etc., etc. You can be pulling in key election officials 2 minutes before game time and say, go in. So there are a bunch of other things. So let me go ahead and say this, because my time is up. Let me go ahead and say this. For those who think that the NMCM is not in play and will not be in play in this election, let me assure you. Now, I'm not a part of it, so again, I don't sit on that. So don't think that I'm speaking with insider knowledge. But if I'm to, since they have been commissioned in 2000, they have overseen the 2005 election, the 2009 referendum, the 2010 election, the 2015 election, and in each instance, they have been making, as far as I am concerned, very shrewd and relevant recommendations for guiding the process. And I have no doubt that I could, if it has not already been done, because an election date has not been called, it is close to being done, where they will, again, like they've always done, given their guidelines and recommendations that should guide this particular process. What I expect to see, and this is where I'm speaking for me now, what I expect to see as part of this specific election that will guide this specific process, if it has not been added, should be added, recommendations related to pork barreling. Incidentally, last election, that was one of the complaints that the NMCM received. A very specific complaint about pork barreling. And I think that having been lodged properly in 2015 ought to be addressed ahead of the 2020 election. Also, given the issues related to voter registration, I know that the NMCM have commented on these before, but I expect that they will zero in specifically on voter registration, allowing for the better oversight. As Jerry said this morning, there are certain things that are not prohibited by the representation of the peoples at the RPA. However, even if things are not prohibited, does not necessarily mean that there's prudence in allowing it. So there needs to be some there needs to be some better interpretation of how the representation of the peoples can be applied in good faith. This is again where the NMCM comes in. And lastly, what I expect that they will address is the use of media, particularly the use of the national broadcasting media that we have here, and fair use of that particular medium. There are many other things that I am sure that they will address: institutional inadequacies, administrative weaknesses, and other things. But these things I am going to lodge, not in a formal way, but I am going to expect that the NMCM will address them. So yes, to Mr. MacArthur, who asked the question, this is a long answer, but I expect that the NMCM will be very active in this upcoming election.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much. Catch you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, well, Monday.
Thank you very much.
Is banking simply about borrowing, paying, and saving? At the same time,
you know we have to take over.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good to know?
Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom, Galaxy by far, and DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
The Love Zone.
The best R&B jams, period.
Hear it on Boom 1069.
We lighten up the morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. OMG in the morning. On point, dropping shade and setting the trends.
You drinking the haterade.
It's the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Shade. On the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
The Love Zone.
The best R&B jams, period.
Hear it on Boom 1069.
Here we go!
Locking down the entire universe. It's District 106 on the Boom, Galaxy by far, and DJ Flex on the Evolution Station. Boom 1069.
it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Isn't it good to know that no...
You know we have to take over.
Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. Follow these simple steps. Remove all jewelry before washing hands. Wet hands using running water. Place liquid soap in hand. Circulate using rotational movements, interlace fingers, and repeat switching hands. Wash back of fingers, rotating them in the palms. Wash fingertips, rotating them in palms. Wash thumbs using rotational movements. Thoroughly wash hands down to the wrist. Rinse hands. Dry with clean tissue. Turn off tap using tissue. Use tissue to open door and discard in bin. A simple act can make a huge difference. Stop the spread of viral infections, including the flu and COVID-19, by practicing proper hand washing. This is a message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment.
You know we have to take over.
On point, dropping shade and setting the trends.
You drinking the haterade.
It's the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Shady.
You know we have to take over.
Paradise is second best person to duck meat or to grill meat in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is Earl Halbish. Second best. Okay. I am the best, and Earl came in a distant second. See, I mean, I'm not available to do any grilling for you people, but if you want to get a really good steak, I'm speaking from my experience. It's at Paradise on a Friday night. The ribs too good too. But Baby doll is on a diet. So, could you organize some grilled grass for me, please, on Friday night? Any particular?
I'll have some grilled fish. Don't be rude.
Any particular grass do you want?
Don't be rude
bush,
over
any
there.
particular bush you want to be grilled? Throw something at me. You don't want the public to know that what things that you do with me in the studio.
Wet you down with some water
I know.
to cool you down.
Bang my head against the wall. All the violent stuff you do.
You do these things to yourself. You do these things to yourself.
So listen, guys. We head into Paradise on Friday night.
Whoa. Well. Hey. No, it's certainly nowhere to find us. At least within city time. So.
And remember, if you're having your grill steak, please be civilized people. Civilized people eat grilled steak rare. Okay? Just remember that. Remember that. Let's take a call before we jump out. This person clearly been called. Listen, nobody stress me out right about now, eh?
Well, somebody just.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Bing. Maybe it's another day. I know it's very late, but I just want to thank you for the way you dealt with this matter. And I just want to say to you, based on the investigation of speaking to a lawyer and a police officer, I can't call his name, is that what Mr. Commissioner said is not true.
You cannot.
How you go tell the commissioner that it's not true? You know more than the commissioner?
No, what I'm saying in terms of the procedure, there's a procedure to arrest.
Does the commissioner?
No, what I'm saying, there's
Mr.
a procedure.
Mr. Hamilton, when the commissioner know about the procedure to arrest someone?
I just spoke to officer. I just spoke to.
So who want no more, the officer or the commissioner?
I am saying there's a procedure to arrest in particular where, because the commissioner is not the head of the prisons. There's a superintendent. He is the head, and obviously, I am not. You take off a call on radio and talk something that is stupid.
I am not saying.
I'm not saying.
You are misguided. You can be misguided. You can be misguided, Mr. Hamilton. I'm not saying it's stupid. I did not. I am saying you can be misguided.
I call a senior officer. You want me to call?
So a senior officer will know more about the process of arrest than the commissioner of police?
Well, it's not a matter of knowing the most, you know. A matter of the procedure is a reality. In fact, what Mr. Boucher said is true. What Mr. Poyer said is true. I am saying here, I'm not saying that I would never come on the radio and say that somebody lying on that. I know there's a procedure. I am saying this officer I spoke to just come out the phone day. He said, Mr. Hamilton, there's a procedure. I am not here to say...
Hamilton, what is the procedure? What is the procedure?
According to this police officer and the lawyer, is that the procedure is that obviously there must be an investigation. There must be some connection with the very senior officers at the prisons before you can just arrest him like that. And what everybody said was correct. And what Mr. Commissioner is saying is not true. You know my brother Bing. You know I was arrested unfairly. I didn't do anything. I saw young ladies being blocked from pain. You know, even my brother, this commissioner that I adored, because in the beginning, I asked him every day, I said, God bless you, Mr. Commissioner. You know, when I called for him, he was an individual, my brother. He went down the road up different from some of the other Charles and some of the other commissioners you had. I just said that based on what happened, where an investigation is way with a young lady, and every time I called for him, never would he ever return my call again.
So, hold on. So you vexed because somebody didn't call you back. That's what this is about.
I am not vexed. I am saying is that these officers, these people are there to serve us. Police.
So serving us mean that they should return your call? Is that what you're saying?
No, not return.
What exactly are you saying?
I am saying, my brother, I had a relationship with him, a friendship with him. I would call him. And when I call him, he would return. I would like sometimes say, Mr. Commissioner, you really calling me back. He said, honey, I'm here to serve you, you know. But what I'm saying, all I did was to say, I didn't like the procedure, what happened with that young lady. And I'm saying after that, I can't get him. I'm saying, my brother, it's very important that we have police officers that doesn't take anything personal against you. We need to work with them. We need them. I ask them, I call them all the time. In fact, I could tell you, that's why I can't call anybody this individual, because I believe that they will move him. But I'm only saying here, I'm only calling to tell you, my brother, that what was said by him is not the right thing.
And this is based on who?
Based on a police officer, a senior officer.
A senior who is a junior to the commissioner
said
that what the police commissioner said is incorrect. That's what you're saying.
Junior doesn't make it.
Is that what you're saying, Mr. Hamilton? Let's just get to the point. Mr. Hamilton is saying that a senior officer who's junior to the commissioner said that what the commissioner said in terms of the process of arrest is not correct. Correct?
Could I just repeat what you're just saying there? So what you're saying basically is that the information has to do with whether you're junior or senior. Seniority doesn't make it the truth. Seniority doesn't say that you do. In fact, I could tell you, there are a lot of people right now, on radio, I listen to you. I would take your word 1,000,000 times. Even them, there might be some authority, because it has to do with credibility. And I trust you, and this is why I call in your program. I call to thank you. I call in to create any conflict. That the way you dealt with this matter this morning, it would not have been done so on the radio station. You did a wonderful job in allowing people to express themselves, even to call, Mr. Commissioner. It was good. But I'm only saying I had a right to call you to tell you based on my
Mr. Hamilton,
yes,
I am not stopping your right to call.
Yes,
I am just challenging what you're saying.
Well,
now, me challenging what you're saying doesn't mean...
Challenge me, and I love you. Hear this, I love you, because let me say this, I have actually been setting a trend. If I could tell you, I send you, In fact, I have a document to send you. Remember, you raised this matter here with Mr. Weeks concerning the 3 policemen? I'm so happy you raised it, but I'm going to send a document to refresh your memory, because it was significant you raised it. And I felt you dealt with the matter. One other final thing here, my brother, I want to just say this to Mr. George. As much as I must, I know that Mr. Miyamati might have wobbled with Venezuela and other things. if you look at the CARICOM, even with Mr. Gonsalves, I think he would have handled it the right way. Even though I'm very critical of him. But if it wasn't CARICOM, we would not have reached the stage where we had a WICOM. And let me say this, Guyana, just like Venezuela, is in a state where you can have blood. And it is very important, Mr. George, for intervention. And they are not here intervening to influence somebody to go one way. The court decision, the matter went in front of the CCJ, and the ruling was made, taken into consideration, finally, that this political party, headed by Mr. Granger, violated the no confidence and dragged out the thing. Again, the matter went to the CARICOM. They begged for restraint. I see people beating up on America, whether you like them or not. They want to see no bloodshed, and that is why sometimes they intervene. They're not intervening because they want to intervene who Trump wants. I am only saying we have got to be sensible. Thank you, my brother, for the respect you have given me, because let me say this, I wasn't sure whether or not you were going to tolerate me, and you have tolerated me. I miss you, because let me say this, my brother, when I hear people telling you about high blood pressure, I have it too. But it doesn't mean high blood pressure means you can't come in your radio, because, let me say this, one of the things that drive my pressure up? Injustice. To sit there, silent and see wrong. And I know you are that individual. God bless you. I'm saying in the case of this officer, he's under this, he got it right. And the lawyer, he's a Lord man, I'm going to get him to call you. And he's saying there is a procedure. That prison is a total different entity to that. They have even the authority to arrest too. And so the commission is not responsible. The only individual that is responsible for that prison is above that is the Minister of National Security. And this should be, and he knows better. And I'm saying a lot of other blunders, and I'm saying another one for you now. A lot of blunders was made by the police department. We have to get this thing right. Do we know that the police safe? God bless everybody. Have a safe day.
God bless you too, my brother.
All right, and until tomorrow.
No more calls, please. Stop calling. We're not taking any more calls. We're out of time. Where's Mr. Gloucester? That's one horrible, stupid, disgusting surname. You know who name Mr. Gloucester? You know who that is? I told him yesterday, do you know you can go to the registry and change your name? You can get a deed poll and change your name? Gloucester? What kind of stupid? Where he is really? You know, they sit down. Watch him. Mr. Gloucester, can you come and say, I'm no longer calling you so? If anybody knows your name, Mr. Gloucester, they won't hire you. Baby doll, goodbye. Have yourself a great day today.
Until tomorrow.
I want to check my blood pressure.
You need to. We'll deal with this after. We'll handle it. Actually, I ain't wasting my time with you. I go in.
What did I do?
Jill and Shady coming up next. It's the Shady Room.
What did I do?
Morning, Jill.
Morning, Jill. How are you this morning, Jill? You look radiant. Not you. I'm speaking to Jill, not you.
Shady, what's in that cup?
No, don't call him Shady. You need his name. Call him by his surname. Yeah.
You see, he pointed out that he has a red cup, eh?
The first time I heard about him was Julian and the campaigns.
Okay, you're telling us something.
Yeah. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning. God's willing to do it all over again. Yeah. We will revisit this matter again tomorrow morning. The Cuban Cutlass will be in tomorrow morning. So, we'll revisit that. I want to bring the matter of gun license up with the Cuban Cutlass, because here all kind of people got a gun license now, and the Cuban Cutlass can't get on. Grant Connell got his gun license, and all kind of people get this gun, and the Cuban Cutlass can't get on. And the two of them are both red men, eh? So I don't understand how they treated the red man like that. Why you all treated the red man like that? The Cuban Cutlass need to get his gun. We campaigning. You can't give one red man and not give the other one. Tomorrow morning, guys, we love you. Catch you then. I'm God.
You know we off the chain.